Welcome back to the Daily Holy Story. The following story was brought down in the new book about Chacham Baruch. When Chacham Baruch was a young man at about 28 years old, in 1947, he went to be the chief rabbi of Cape Town, South Africa. At that time, there were elections for a new prime minister. The one incumbent prime minister was Field Marshal Jan Smuts, who was very pro-Jewish and raised money for Zionist causes. His opponent was Dr. Daniel Francois Malan, who was not a Jew lover at all. The Jewish people were worried about the outcome of the elections. And sure enough, Dr. D.F. Malan was the one who won the elections. He was not positive about Jews. The minute he entered office, he called for all the Jews in South Africa to leave and relocate to Israel. He didn't like the fact that most of the city of Muizenberg was Jewish. And not much longer after he was elected, 70% of the Jews in that town left for the state of Israel. Just as things were getting worse and worse for the Jews of South Africa, there was a very interesting turn of events that happened. For a long time, there was no rain, and the country started to suffer a severe drought. The drought was so bad that it crippled the agriculture of South Africa, its commerce, and its households. Water was drying up, and it was a real emergency. Desperately, D.F. Malan, the new prime minister, ordered the entire country to pray for rain. It was a clear fact that the prime minister knew that this situation was above the abilities of his mortal hands, and it needed divine intervention. After the next few days, everybody in South Africa went to their churches and to mosques and prayed for rain. But no rain came. The sun shone. There wasn't even a single cloud in the sky. So, one day, a non-Jewish maid went over to Prime Minister Malan and told him to contact the father of the Jews to pray for rain, because their prayers are accepted. When Prime Minister Malan had nowhere to turn, he sent a letter to the chief rabbi of Cape Town, Africa, none other than the young Chacham Baruch Mizrahi. And he wrote him, "Dear Rabbi Mizrahi, like you know, our country is facing a terrible drought. I asked all South African citizens to pray for rain, but they have not been answered. I'm turning to you and asking you to gather all the Jews of Cape Town and pray to your God for rain. Prime Minister Malan." Chacham Baruch did like the Prime Minister asked. He gathered all the Jews of Cape Town into the main synagogue for an afternoon prayer of Selichot, beseeching Hashem to bring rain. They prayed and prayed, and like Hashem did many times, he listened to the prayers of Chacham Baruch and his Jewish congregation. Shortly after the prayers, the weather started changing. That very night, the blue skies turned into dark clouds with lightning, and tremendous amounts of rain came down. The miracle of the prayer of the Jewish people in Cape Town, together with Chacham Baruch, came true, and all the South African newspapers had coverage about the miracle that happened from the Jews that prayed in Cape Town. And of course, it created a tremendous Kiddush Hashem, and Chacham Baruch was recognized not only in Cape Town, but in the entire country of South Africa as a miracle worker. And Prime Minister Milan began to turn around his face in a positive way to the Jewish people. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.